Welcome everybody. I'm Lee, this is Lou. We are two members of She's So Quiet, and this is the second installment of Life of a Song. The song is Loaded Words, and we are going to transition to the recording process. Now, we recorded this song along with all the others starting in May of 2018, which was an interesting time for the band. We had gone from a band of 5 to a band of 3, so we were auditioning to bring in eventually Noah and Rob, Noah on bass, Rob on guitar. And so that kind of really shaped the creative process, because initially when we went into the studio, we had sort of a limited vision of what we were doing given the context. But we were at Mr. Street Recording Studio. We had been rehearsing there for years. I had been playing there for decades, and we couldn't ask for a better experience. All of the engineers we work with, the two Dans, Dan Norman, Dan Ryan, and Joe, were all fantastic in helping guide us through the process. This was our first full studio album, right? I think all of us that we had done in that context. So being that this is a bass intro song, it's kind of interesting. This first version you're hearing, I'm actually on bass because it was a stopgap just to make sure we had something down while we were auditioning for the role. But Lou, why don't you talk about the vocals in this song, because they're pretty intense, and we worked a lot on them, I think, to get the balance that you wanted.
Well, I've always kind of had a vision in my mind of what the vocals were going to be. But you can only sing one thing at one time, so I always had an idea of what I wanted the harmonies to be, and a little ad lib here, a little ad lib there. But yeah, the runs didn't really come to me, unfortunately. The background.
Don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
No, but it was, I think, even just the lead vocal line, it evolved, as you can hear. These takes that are playing in the background, these are chronological, these are mixes that took place over the course of 3 or 4 months as we added new members and learned what we were doing. You can hear the guitars bounce back and forth from being way too quiet to way too loud to being nice and just right. I think the vocals were just, each version you kept coming back was like more emotional and more kind of refined at the same time.
Well, you had mentioned the dance,
Yeah.
And both of them were really great about, like I said, giving us options and ideas, but also allowing our own things to be a part of the process.
Sure.
And we're all like nervous, like new parents when it comes to this album, so it was nice to have them there, and they were really supportive.
Yeah, and I think this is it was important that we preserve all the elements of She's So Quiet in this song, because being one of the first tracks we ever written. We've got Noam's bass line through the creative force that is Noah, and a couple of guitar licks that represent Chris Schreck, who played guitar for us for a while, and then your vocals, and obviously anchoring it all is John, and one of the cool, more understated drum lines on the album. So that wraps up for this chapter. Next time we're going to go into the live versions to hear some different personnel on the mix and how the song evolved on stage. So that was chapter 2 of Life of a Song, Loaded Words edition. I'm Lee, this is Lou. Catch you later next time on Life of a Song.